The House of Representatives is pushing to cap annual rent increases at no more than 20% in a bid to curb arbitrary rent hikes and protect tenants from exploitation, particularly in areas witnessing rapid infrastructure development. The House said the measure was needed amid rising living costs and rapid infrastructure-driven price spikes. This followed the adoption of a motion moved by Representative Basi Akiba during plenary on Thursday, urging the federal government to regulate rent increases and ensure access to affordable housing nationwide. In the meantime, the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development has approved and announced uniform sale prices for housing units under its Renewed Hope Estate program across all states of the Federation. According to the State Member Director, Press and Public Relations, Badamasi Aiba, the housing units, which comprise 1, 2, and 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalows, are part of the ministry's efforts to make home ownership more accessible and equitable for Nigerians. The approved selling prices include 1-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, 8.5 million, 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, 11.5 million, and detached bungalow, 12.5 million. The adoption of new uniform selling prices, according to the statement, aims to promote affordability, transparency, and fairness. Dr. Kolade Adepoju is the Chief Executive Officer of Real Homes. He joins me now to share his thoughts on government's decision to intervene at this point, to act on the overwhelming housing crisis in the country. Well, Dr. Adepoju, look, this is not the first time government has been saying it will intervene.
Yes.
So it did not work in the past. Why will it work this time around? Can government legitimately say it can fix housing prices or dictate to landlords? Is there something that government is supposed to do that government is not doing? What is the standard best practice in other parts of the world with regard to housing?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Abati. First of all, when you were reading the stuff, I was blushing because some things are not really obtainable.
You were blushing or you were angry?
I wasn't angry.
Because when you blush, it's like you are happy.
No. But, first of all, let me start from the House, the Honorable Honorable Basi motion. You can say that you want house rent to be increased by 20%. Can you enforce it? So the question is, even if you pass it to law, I mean, I was thinking about it. If you pass it into law that I cannot increase my house rent more than, let's say, 20%, what I then do is, by the time you've done maybe 1 year or 2 years, I tell you that I want to renovate my house, you move, I bring new person.
No, that's not what you real estate people do. You remove the roof. You remove the windows.
No.
That's how you people behave.
But the truth of the matter is that the landlords actually are not the developer. I mean, if you ask a developer, how many houses will a developer even have? They eventually sell it. For me now, if I'm building, I have a project in Zule, if I'm building I'm not building to keep it. I'm building to sell. So when you're talking about house hiking and house rent increase, actually, the people here are people that you cannot even bring together. They are landlord, maybe somebody that bought the property, is old already, is using retirement plan and all. So really, developers are not the ones that are increasing prices. The place I would say developer comes in is the latter one that you talked about. That I said that Renewed Hope, they put the reason why I was laughing is that if I see that condition, I will not be a part of it. Because today, you don't put into consideration the cost of these materials. How will you say a 1-bedroom? I have QS. We have projects that we are doing. I know what it costs to build a 1-bedroom. It's not even detached. In a block of flats. I know how much it costs. I know how much it costs to build 2-bed. I know how much it costs to build 3-bed. You cannot tell me that I should sell a 3-bed or 2 beds fully detached for 12 is not, except maybe government is saying, oh, maybe we are taking 50% of the cost of the building. So we also have to be realistic here. 12.5 million to sell a fully detached semi, whatever you call it, may not fly. What I feel the government should do is, I mean, when it comes to, I mean, we know that the economy now is not smiling to everybody. And it's eating to everyone. Even we that we are developers, it's even affecting us more than when we say that people say, oh, we are, but it is truth. Because just last year, early last year, we were buying cement for 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus. Now it's 10,000. I mean, I called my head of construction. I said they said the cement price has come down. Let me know the price now. They took only 15 naira out of it, 10,150. So you have to consider things like that. What the government should now do to make it easier for us, especially developers, to make housing available for people, is to see how these prices will come down. Why is it that it's only in Nigeria things go up, it doesn't come down? And if it's coming down, you say it's coming. So, for example, can this cement, can it be crashed? Because for me, I don't know the reason why it jumped that. I mean, I've tried to look at everything. It still doesn't make sense to me. Iron jumped from 150 to 300 to now it's like 1 point something million. If all those things are reduced, it makes more sense to now say you want to sell at a reduced price. But if it's not reduced, you cannot really put the cap at it and say that we should sell. I mean, even if you are providing the land, because land is actually the least of the equation what we are talking about. Except we are building a coin.
Dr. Adepoju,
yes,
I see you are arguing from the real estate people's perspective, from landlord's perspective. How do you justify at a moral level a house that was built in 1970 and then these landlords who are looking for renewed hope will come around and say, well, the cost of materials have gone up. At the time the building was built, cost of material was very low.
Yes, sir.
So I also see that there's mass wickedness to another human being in this your real estate business.
I agree with you, sir. I agree with you when it comes, because it's also there has to be parameters. There has to be, you have to justify your increment. For example, if I'm building now and I'm increasing now, it makes sense. But if, for example, somebody, I also fight that. I mean, our office today, we don't own it, we are renting, and they've increased the rent by 150% in VI. So you can know what that is. So I understand what you're saying, but the truth of the matter is there has to be a strict regulation. For example, now, maybe if you are saying maybe a house that is built by this time to this time, there is a limit at which you can increase. Of course, anybody that is coming into real estate want to invest in real estate because they believe that it increase with time, but not to extort ourselves. And I believe that I usually say that government has a little to do to this, because you see, if we are human, if you just have human feeling, you will not just, a house you built 30 years ago, you are saying because, landlords are doing that.
Landlords will quote, they say the price of cement has gone up.
That doesn't make any sense because you didn't buy any cement now.
So how does government address that?
Yeah, so
the wickedness of real estate people.
Well, you are just attacking us, doctor.
No, I'm not attacking you. I'm giving you...
I understand. But, you're saying the wickedness, but it's really not wickedness. It depends on how you are saying it. For example, now, if you are just building, you cannot say that. If, for example, a house of maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, if they are little, increments should also have a cap. I agree to what they are saying. I would have believed if that happened, it will work. But how do we enforce it? I think before we look into bringing laws to place, we should first of all think of how to enforce it. Do we even have a registry or a place? Most document, most land in Lagos or property is registered. But do we have a comprehensive list of because you can be amazed that in one estate, maybe you can have maybe 300 housing, and you can be amazed that you have only 10 landlords there. So how do you ascertain that? How do you know who are the people to, even if we put this law into place, to enforce it is really the problem? Because there are many ways, and I'm telling you, I'm sure you agree to that. Nigerians, we are very smart. If you bring a law, we will always find a way to circumvent, to make sure that we achieve our aim. So I think what the government should look into is enforcing this thing. There are many laws, like you said when you started, there are many laws that has been put in place. There are many things you cannot do this, you cannot do, and you see it's still happening.
Okay,
So
doctor,
enforcing it is the problem.
As we begin to wrap up,
Yes, sir.
You are saying government should find a way of enforcing.
Yes, sir.
And put in place structures.
Yes, sir.
How about government addressing the issue of affordable housing for the people, both at the federal and at the state level? Because if government goes into that space and makes housing easy and affordable for the people, the government will not be behaving like Shylock.
Yes, I agree with you. I usually say that I don't think I believe that one of the industries that should be subsidized is real estate, because after food, the next basic need is housing. You see, the only reason why me and you we are talking well like this, because we came out from a sane place. Somebody that does not come out from a sane place cannot talk like this, cannot behave well.
Speak for yourself. You don't know where I'm coming from.
So I'm saying that the government, both on the federal, on the state, and even local, because we usually talk about states, this thing is local. What is the local government? What are they doing to housing? So if we can have a form of subsidy, for example, even if it takes some people to come and buy a house, even as ridiculous as those by 8.5, some people don't even have the money. So the subsidy and then making this mortgage system really, really close to us. For example, a market person now, how can they even access this mortgage? So I think subsidy should come into play. Then a PPP. Government Renew Hope is a PPP. I mean, you bring private and to the public and there, but I think more of it should be done. And then it should be open. It should be open. It should not be an enclosed thing. Because like you said, if most of the housing we have less, and although the government cannot do it all, I mean, how many can they provide? We have, as at 2015 there, about we have 15 million housing there for its deficit. So you can imagine what it is now. So, but if the government can do that and then they have their own housing, you can control whatever is in your sphere. Okay,
on that note,
yes,
Doctor, I would like to thank you very much,
thank you so much,
for shedding light on this.
Thank you so much.
And at least I will conclude to say that you are on the side of the people.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
To say that government must make it easier for people to own housing, to afford rent, and to live comfortably in this environment. After all, our welfare is one of the major responsibilities of government.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
On this Live, the Sunday Talk Show.